We started in July 2019 as an entity. The nature of Trident Animation Studios is to produce animated content in terms of shorts, movies, and material and productions for the world. In a different life, I was director of training at BIMAP, who initiated with BIDC the whole training perspective behind animation. And so one of the things that we really wanted to do was to put the seeds in place to create a new industry. And so that was the whole goal. And we focused our attention really on doing it right. And doing it right really is about building capacity. And so one of the things that we were very keen on doing really was to ensure that we had enough persons who could have been trained and who could have been exposed to the industry, who could be able to then have a perspective as to where they think they could fit. And that's why I'm also involved as well, because after I moved on, one of the things that kept, I wouldn't say bugging me, but what kept at the forefront of my mind was that how could we move to the next level with regard to animation at a world level in Barbados, because the training that they had received really was world class. We took some of the best animation trainers from the world and we brought them to Barbados to be able to break out this industry. Well, we were really a freelance operation. We used to do quite a lot of work for the international audience. So there were a number of animators who were in Barbados, who had been trained and were doing production work. Trident Animation really is the culmination of that effort.
Okay, well, before the creation of the Trident as the company, as Stephen said, it was more like a freelance entity. From my experience, from what I've seen, what I saw, they were doing well in terms of being able to fend for themselves. So, to put it short, they were able to eat, so to speak, based on the work that they were doing, which was good, but more needed to be done.
Well, we have a show reel. It gives you a sense of what we've been doing over the number of years in terms of the persons who work at Trident. A lot of the stuff that we've been doing, basically, remember, Trident is a pulling together of all of the persons who would have been part of the industry over the last couple of years, persons who I would have trained and so on. These persons are now under one roof. So we can be able to show you exactly what we've been working on. I mean, a lot of people don't know, for example, that as freelancers and while we were putting our company together and so on, we were working on really interesting products from a perspective. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Rick and Morty. So those are, we could talk a lot about it, but like I said, sometimes we are governed by some NDAs that will preclude us from talking about a lot of the work that we do. But this is just to show you the quality of work that we have done, and not only that, but the quality of the studio that you're talking about. And very soon you'll actually be seeing some of that because we are doing some pro bono work for a set of events in Barbados, and you will get a chance to see nationally what we can do. So stay tuned.
Well, our game plan for winning in the international industry of animation really was to make sure all the components that are required were there. There was access to training. So initially what we started with was putting on workshops, and we even provided some funding for BIMAP so they themselves could create a studio to offer training. Right? And outside of in addition to the training, we also provided access to exposure, basically. So what we would have done, we would have facilitated attendance at different trade shows in animation. So we would have gone to the Anime conference in LA in 2012. We took a number of animators there. In 2013 or 14 it was, we attended the Kingston animation event, which was sponsored by the IDB and was held in Jamaica. And then in 2017 we attended the CTM conference, which is another animation conference. So the idea there was to allow animators to see the level and animation at international level, not just the animation in terms of technical, but also the business part of animation.
Well, the agreement really with BIDC really was that in working together with Trident, we would establish Trident as the tip of the spear, if you will, to be able to get the industry going, to be able to expand, to be able to see the world and to be able to work with the persons who we would have as part of our team to be able to take on the world. And so that has been the real beauty about the relationship and the coordination of effort between the two parties. BIDC has been there as a support to be able to ensure that we can be able to target the world successfully, and it has put resources in Trident Animation to ensure that we can be able to get the best out of the persons that we are employing to be able to do so.
Okay, so one of our major financial assistance programs, which is our Special Technical Assistance Fund, but we've kind of refashioned it, or we've added a category which we call the Accelerate 2020 program, which is focused on providing assistance for companies that have exceptional potential for generating foreign exchange.
And the Accelerate 2020 program really was about connecting us with all of the varying partners who could be able to assist in our growth. And one of the things that we liked about it was the access to the special technical assistance and such, so that we could have been able to fast forward our both our software and our hardware acquisitions and so on. So that was really a really great part of the successful collaboration in terms of the Accelerate 2020 program. What BIDC also offered us, which was also good, was the fact that they are a space allocator, they are a landlord. So we were able to identify and be able to have as part of our setup a space that could be used by us for the propagation of our business. And so that was also a plus in terms of the mix. What's also significant is that, for example, the reason why Mark is here is because that program is an ongoing one. They will hold our hands as we go forward to ensure that they can offer the type of assistance we need to be able to get to the next level if we need it. So for example, we expect that when we go on the kind of trips that Mark is talking about in terms of animation conferences and so on, it will be a joint effort and so on. So those are the kind of support mechanisms that are in place to assist us. And one of the things that we're very pleased about is the fact that it really was not a hard sell in terms of what BIDC has been doing. This is something that they know is going to be successful, and all they were looking for was a partner who, in my mind, was able to demonstrate that we could make it work. And I think that is really the core to what we are doing together.
To be honest, what sticks out in my mind has been the difficulties we've encountered. Right? So it's well known, animation is not new to the world. It's pervasive. So one would imagine the value. So when you say that the animation industry internationally is valued at more than 3 or 5 billion.
300 billion.
Right, 300 billion US dollars. Mm-hmm. It's not a stretch of the imagination. But when we try to facilitate the development of an animation company or industry, like how we have Trident now, we find it difficult to get the support that we believe should be forthcoming.
Which is challenging for me, because I think that you need to be able to undertake risk in a responsible way. And one of the things that we have encountered really and truly was to really convince financial institutions of the viability of the new sector. But be that as it may, we believe in the product, we believe in the support that we're getting, and we are very passionate about what we do. So we know that there will be a lot of success, and we are really enthused every day to be able to be a part of a growing sector, to be part of a collaboration between ourselves and BIDC to make this industry not just a niche industry, but to be a major player for Barbados in terms of its growth.
Well, because of the nature of the talent that's required, so you can have partners such as University of West Indies, Barbados Community College, the Polytechnic, I can't remember the Polytechnic, San John Prescott Institute of Technology, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Then there's BIMAP as well, right? And because of the pervasive nature of animation, the BTMA, not the BTMA, the BT, Barbados Tourism Authority, the Barbados Hotel Tourism Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Innovation, Ministry of Education, and I can list, because I can list many institutions. Those are government institutions. But then on the other side, there's also financial institutions that can get involved because it is prime for investment. I'm not saying specifically that I can dictate what a commercial bank does with their money, but I mean, let's face it, interest rates on savings accounts are 0.5%. Yet you pay $5. Yet you pay $5 for your account. So if you only have $5 in your account next month, you don't have any money. So we're looking for ways to boost the Barbadian economy. Not just Trident, but the animation industry in itself is a fantastic industry to invest your money and your time. And like Steven said, the BIDC is here to help. And it's not only, once other people get involved, there will be more assistance. I'm a person who actually likes to help people, which is why I do what I do the way I do it. I actually like to help people, and to see young people being able to function and do what they love doing. You can imagine getting paid to do what you love, and getting paid well to do what you love. That's a tremendous feeling, and you don't even have to leave. And now with Trident, you don't have to leave Barbados to get into animation. You can stay in Barbados. You can enjoy the sun. You can imagine animating on the beach. Imagine the possibilities. Because if we get Trident the way we want to get Trident, if we get the level of training where we want to get it, you're going to places outside of Barbados who are going to say, you know what, I can set up a studio in Barbados, you know. You understand? So there's a lot of potential.
The interest is at the international level. We will be announcing very soon a partnership with a major studio, international studio, on a production that we have actually been working on for the last couple of years. And that's one of them. The other one really is our own intellectual property that we are going to be doing a pitch later on this year at the international level. And we are hoping for success in that particular effort. The interesting thing about what we do is that in doing your own intellectual property, interest in your own brand or so, once it is achieved, puts you out there in a very big way. And as I said, we're talking about a $300 billion industry, so you can understand the type of licensing and so on that takes place at that level once you are able to create and be able to interest other partners worldwide in what you do. So this is playing on the international level. This is really a very huge thing, and I think that for Barbados to be part of this, I think is quite exciting and noteworthy. To be frank, not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. It calls really for a lot of dedication, a lot of focus. It also calls for a stick-to-itiveness that you really need to be able to have to be able to make sure that you follow through on the things that you want to. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to do is that if you are convinced of your talent, of your abilities, and you desire to be the type of person and to have a company that is going to be very well regarded, then you need to put in the time. You need to put in the effort, and you need to be able to work with persons who are like-minded. This is an industry that is very small. Even though the numbers are big, everybody knows everybody, and so the word gets around in terms of if you are good, if you are very dedicated to your craft, if you're trustworthy. Those are the kind of things. We in this industry, a lot of muster goes with regard to trust, because people will want to work with those persons that they can trust. Because if you've got an intellectual property asset that you're giving to a co-partner, you want to make sure that everything is secured in terms of ensuring that it doesn't get leaked. Those are the kind of things that happen. So our industry is very closed. In some ways. That's why we can't talk about some of the NDAs that we have and some of the projects that we have. But it is a really wonderful opportunity that I get every day to see my people create wonder. And I do that I look at their screens and I can see very, very talented young people who are really putting out things that the world would enjoy. That gives me my greatest satisfaction.
Well, as Stephen said, it is going to be challenging, and in as much as not everybody may be cut out to be an entrepreneur, everybody can try. Right? You don't have to do it alone. That is the reason why organizations like the BIDC exist. We want to make it as seamless for you as possible. But for that to happen, one of the most important things that you need to have as an entrepreneur approaching an organization like BIDC is some humility with the passion or the ability to be teachable. Because it's not everything you're going to know, but there are going to be things because of our experience as a business organization, business development organization, seeing mistakes that other businesses might have made. Then we can advise you how to avoid those mistakes and make the best of your time and your limited resources.